Today, let's play a little game. Now close your eyes and imagine yourself in an exam hall. The question paper is right in front of you. You flip it open, your hands are slightly sweaty. The questions stare at you. You read the first one, you read the second one, and suddenly you realize that you don't remember anything and the panic sets in. But how could this happen? You spent hours of studying, you pulled all-nighter, and you crammed every page. Yet, at this crucial moment, your brain feels like a blank slate. Sounds familiar? You're not alone. This is number one reason students underperform. Not because they don't study enough, but because they don't study in a right way. But what if I told you you can learn faster, retain more, and recall the information effortlessly? Stay with me, because today we are unlocking the secrets to effective studying. For years, we have been taught to study in a certain way, right? Like reading textbooks, highlighting the important parts, and hope for the best. Reread notes multiple times, assuming that repetition leads to memorization. Spend long hours cramming everything in the night before the exams. But guess what? Science proves that these methods are ineffective. They create the illusion of learning, but they don't actually help us to retain the information. The human brain is not designed to store massive amounts of information all at once. For this, we really need smarter strategies. So before we dive into techniques, let's first understand how our brain processes and retains the information. Encoding. This is when we first absorb the information. But here is the problem. Our brain prioritizes the meaningful and actively engaged information, and reading passively doesn't work. Storage. The brain decides what to keep and what to forget. If we don't review strategically, the information vanishes. Retrieval. This is the key. If we don't practice recalling information, we won't remember when we need it the most. So how do we optimize these steps? To study effectively, you need the right techniques. So these 5 proven methods will transform the way you learn. So coming to the step 1, which is pre-testing. Most students start by reading the textbook, but top learners do the opposite. They take a quick test before they start studying. This forces the brain to focus on gaps in knowledge, making learning more efficient. Even if you get questions wrong, it primes your brain for better retention. And now coming to the second step, which is the mind palace method. This technique involves associating the information with familiar locations. Like for example, just imagine your house. The front door holds historical dates, the kitchen stores physical formulas, and your bedroom contains the language rules. Your brain naturally recalls the information which are linked to vivid imagery and familiar places. And now coming to the third step, which is the interleaving technique. Instead of studying one subject at a time for hours, you just mix it up. Like for example, instead of studying only maths for 3 hours, you can just switch between maths, biology, and history. This method strengthens connections between the topics and enhance your problem solving skills. Now coming to the step 4, which is self-explanation. As you learn, explain the topic out loud in your own words. But if you struggle to explain it, it means you don't fully understand it. This forces your brain to organize your thoughts and making learning active but not passive. And coming to the last step, which is strategic breaks. So most of the people, either they study for too long without any breaks, or they just take too many breaks. But the perfect balance is that taking 10 minutes of break after every 30 minutes of deep focus. This method prevents burnout while maximizing retention. Now that you know these powerful techniques, now let's know how to apply them. Start every study session with a quick pre-test. Use the mind palace method to lock in key facts. Mix subjects using interleaving. Talk to yourself. Self-explanation is your secret weapon. And at last, follow the 10-30 rule to stay energized. Trust me, by practicing this, you'll never fear the exams again. What if I told you a few small changes could make a massive difference in your learning? So try these techniques to yourself and let's see how much more you remember. And this brings me to the end of the video. But at last, I just want to tell you guys something. Master your mind and master your future.